Asteria casts a quick glance at the position of the stars in the sky, and then her gaze turns serious. Well, tonight the queen does not seem to be with us. It is time to start the meeting. Priestess says, "Are you discussing something?"
Achilles says, "No man ever wetted clay and then left it, as if there would be bricks by chance and fortune."
Asteria says, "Let's move to Apella."
Mineya says, "Then we move."
Royal says, "Hark, Mineya, in the end, a Spartan's true strength is the warrior next to him. So give respect and honor to him, and it will be returned to you. First, you fight with your head." Hark, Socrates, Dionysus. Give thanks, men, to Leonidas and the brave 300, to victory.
Apella says, "Adine Odgar is at the gate." Socrates Dionysus is at the gate. Asteria quickly moves toward her throne after greeting those present with a nod of her head. Warm greetings and welcome, command and citizens of Sparta. Have a seat, for we shall begin. Asteria narrows her eyes and concentrates before starting to recite her speech. Citizens of Sparta, children of Lacedaemon. As Helios in his golden chariot crosses the sky in his greatest glory, so too do we gather in this blessed season, when the earth offers its sweetest fruits and the gods show their benevolence toward those who know how to deserve it. I, Asteria, by the will of the Queen and by grace of the immortal gods, open today the proceedings of this Apella, as the Hieros opens the temple gates when dawn reddens over Mount Taygetos. Though her majesty is detained by sacred duties, her spirit hovers among us like that of our protecting divinities. Observe, O citizens, how nature teaches us in this season. As the ripe grain bows its head under the weight of the ears, so the wise man becomes humble before the responsibility entrusted to him. As the generous olive tree gives its shade to the weary traveler, so we must be ready to offer our strength for the common good of Sparta. As the divine Lycurgus taught, discipline must be equal both in times of abundance and in times of scarcity. Summer brings wealth, but also the temptation of idleness. Let none of you be softened by the pleasures of the season, for it is precisely when the enemy believes himself safe that the eagle descends from the sky to seize him. As our ancestors at Thermopylae were not intimidated by the number of enemies, but remained steadfast like the rocks of the pass, so we must remain firm in our principles, whether the icy wind of winter blows or the scorching sun of summer shines. May Apollo illuminate our minds and may Artemis fortify our hearts. May our words be weighed like gold and our decisions enduring like the iron of our spears. Citizens of Sparta, let the proceedings of the Apella begin. Sparta blessed by the gods to protect us forever. Haro.
Mineya says, Aro. Aro.
Asteria says, Sparta blessed by the gods to protect us forever. Haro.
Socrates claps hands.
Asteria cast a quick glance at the instrument in the center of the room. It is well that the works begin by invoking the favor of the gods upon us, and there is no better way than to play in their honor. Who is up to such task?
Mineya raises her hand.
Asteria says, "Please, Ephor, delight us with your skills." Priestess says, "Are you discussing something?"
Mineya nods. Mineya approaches the center of the room where the harp awaits her and settles herself on the stool. Mineya is delighted to be called to play such a precious instrument. The melodies she inspires in her allow her to discharge all the negative feelings that accumulate in her soul during the day. Playing this harp is like caressing the soul with melodies.
Asteria listens with pleasure to the beautiful melody, which facilitates the gathering of her thoughts and the preparation of the various stages of the meeting.
Mineya says, the strings vibrate full of emotions and her fingers dance in an embrace of sounds. Eat is pure poetry, a sensory journey where each chord evokes landscapes, feelings or her past experiences.
Asteria says, You seem much more comfortable with this instrument than with the old harp Ephor. The music you can draw from it is enchanting, she says with satisfaction.
Mineya today feels inspired and would like to share this melody to which she has added lyrics. Only our queen is not here, maybe she can sing next time she is. Mineya would like to share this melody to which she has added lyrics. Maybe next time when our queen is with us. Mineya wishes to delight listeners with this melody.
Asteria says, I see a strange expression on your face, Ephor. Is there perhaps some emotion that this music has triggered in your soul?
Mineya says, it was the effect of the moon perhaps, smiles.
Asteria smiles delighted.
Mineya looks up and mutters the moon was high and bright last night. Her chamber was illuminated, not letting her eyes close, and she was inspired just by looking at it.
Asteria says, I can see you were enlightened by some arcane force, for your playing has something ethereal. Play one more song for us, please.
Mineya says, with pleasure.
Asteria smiles.
Mineya takes a deep breath and caressing the strings, she begins to recite, with her soft and warm voice, intoning at the same time with the melody. The harp sleeps. She seems forgotten and so serene. A harp whose soft strings are tender. Is still waiting to hear own melodies. She waits to be found, and for the voice to come from her soul, as when the wind touches her. But she lacks a spirit to awaken her, a hand to caress her strings. So she remains silent, waiting. In the shadows, where dreams fade. Like many lonely hearts. They hide songs where no one can hear them. Until a voice loudly calls them. They rise, awake and let their melodies be heard. Mineya ends her song with a friendly smile.
Asteria listens with some surprise to Ephor, who for the first time accompanies her melody with melodious singing, and is once again enchanted by the atmosphere she manages to create.
Mineya nods her head in gratitude.
Asteria says, "Beautiful songs deeply rooted in our tradition," she says suddenly with a nostalgic sigh.
Mineya blushes at the praise she has received.
Asteria says, "This was so beautiful, the lyrics would find a worthy place in a poem."
Mineya smiles.
Asteria says, "Thank you, Ephor. You really delighted us tonight. I only regret the queen wasn't here to listen as well." Priestess says, "Are you partying?" Asteria says, "But next time you will sing for her too, I am sure."
Mineya will recite again if she likes to. Mineya nods, smiles and stops playing.
Asteria claps her hands once and says in a firm tone, "We are grateful for your music. Now please take your seats." Apella si.
Mineya gets up and returns to her seat. Eurede. Asterisco asterisco salutes asterisco asterisco.
Asteria says, "Herida, salutes." Asteria has now become accustomed to the various stages of the meeting and moves on to the next one with ease. Who shall inscribe this Apella's deeds and words? Let oblivion not drown truth. Asteria looks around.
Mineya raises her hand again.
Asteria says, "Thank you, Ephor."
Mineya starts to take notes.
Asteria says, "I call upon Hieros Socrates and Lamy to perform Apella opening prayers." Priestess shouts, "Hestia, you who tend the holy house of the Lord Apollo, the far shooter at goodly Pytho, with soft oil dripping ever from your locks, come now into this house, come, having one mind with Zeus the all-wise, draw near, and withal bestow grace upon my song. We offer you a libation of sweet honeyed wine. May the gods bless all in attendance of these prayers."
Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods. To Asclepios. Asclepios, Lord Paean, healer of all, you charm away the suffering of men in pain. Come, mighty and soothing, bring health, and put an end to sickness and the harsh fate of death. Helper, blessed spirit of growth and blossoming, you ward off evil, honored and mighty scion of Phoebos Apollon. Enemy of disease, whose blameless consort is Hygeia, come, O blessed one, a savior and bring life to a good end.
Priestess says, "Are you discussing something?"
Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods. Socrates salutes.
Asteria says, "Herida, salutes. Thank you for your prayers, Hieros and Lammy." Asteria rises from her seat and moves toward the center. Since the Queen is not here tonight, it will be my job to inform you about what is happening to our population and in our relations with the other kingdoms. Once more she finds herself deciding what is convenient to make known, and what is better to wait for the Queen's return. I will start saying that all remains stable in our domain. While no cradles welcomed newborns, the population remains stable and faithful to our queen. More important news comes from the world outside us. And I must say, so important that it can mean significant changes in the distribution of power, she says with a confident expression. A new people has appeared on the horizon, and important news comes from the kingdom of the sands, beyond the Great Sea. This is of the utmost importance, so much so that even my plans for Athens would have been overshadowed, had the queen not forbidden me to set foot in that city to safeguard my safety.
Mineya listens attentively to the ambassador's words.
Asteria says, but precisely because this is news of the utmost importance, I do not think it is right to report it before the Queen is present and can draw guidance on the right governmental choices. I therefore ask you to be patient and be happy with what your ears have been able to hear so far. More will come at next meeting, you have my word, fellow Spartans. But that is all I can say for this night, she says before turning her back and going back to her throne. Asteria he glances at the counselor's throne with some disappointment. It is sad news that the counselor is not with us, a woman with a sharp sword who conducted a very effective training, which I am honored to have taken part in. She asterisk. Now I would like to ask the council representative to present us with the command events recently held and currently scheduled, and diverse announcements. Please step forward for your reports.
Mineya stands up and steps forward to present her reports.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes.
Mineya says, Eurede. Asterisco asterisco salutes asterisco asterisco. Mineya, holding her scroll with both hands, unrolls it and begins to read about the events that took place this last week. Last Wednesday night took place the Spartan belly dance by Hieros Socrates, who reported the following. Scroll released by Hieros Socrates on subject Spartan Greek belly dance party. We spent 3 hours dancing to the sounds of DJ Socrates Dionysus on Wednesday with Queen Anefka, Bella, Zelda, Estef, Rikutsuta, and Espartiati Lilia in attendance at the square in the marketplace. New and recent tunes spun on the decks, which included Tsiftetelia, Sirta, Kalamatiana, Seimbekika, Asapika, and Laika. DJ Socrates Dionysus. Mineya pauses for a second and continues reading.
Asteria says, Apella.
Mineya says, this past Sunday 13 RD the Bards gathering took place. She will read what our counselor Eolangel reported about it.
Priestess says, are you discussing something? Asteria says, too bad my diplomatic missions brought me elsewhere.
Mineya says, scroll released by E-Counselor Eolangel on subject Bards gathering. Under the starry sky of the Empire of Sparta, art enthusiasts gathered in our familiar poetry park for an evening that broke from the Empire's usual rigor. By the light of torches and blazing braziers, words took precedence over the sword. In a circle of stone and olive trees, verses echoed dedicated to glory, death, and honor, but also to restrained love and nostalgia. The echoes of the 4 readers' recitations drifted with the wind, reaching the 8 guests who attended that Sunday night gathering. That evening was not only a tribute to the Muses, but also a breath of air for the Spartan soul, so used to martial discipline. Although the presence of our Queen Helene was missed, we know she was present in spirit in every poem recited. The moon, a silent witness, lit the faces flushed with emotion and wine, sealing the moment with its silvery glow. We thank our hosts, Sabre and Jolie, for dedicating their time to making this event possible.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes.
Mineya pauses briefly and continues.
Asteria says, Apella.
Mineya mentions that this same day, the training took place under the guidance of our counselor. Mineya will read the report on her behalf. Under a sky lit by a radiant sun, 2 warriors face each other in a training field wrapped in silence. Their swords clash with precision, as if the steel speaks an ancient language only they understand. Every movement is a blend of strength and grace, a reflection of years of discipline and a will that knows no surrender. There is no enmity in their eyes, only the fire of respect and the desire to surpass one another. Each strike is a lesson, each defense an honest answer to the challenge the other represents. In this bloodless battle, their souls are tested more than their bodies, and with every touch of steel, the bonds forged in combat are renewed. At the end of the duel, both contenders lower their weapons with a sincere and respectful bow, a gesture of gratitude to the one who shared this hour of training. Ambassador Asteria. Warriors, yes, but also companions, woven from the same thread of courage and destiny.
Asteria smiles.
Mineya says, this was all that happened this last week. Finally, as she always does, she is going to read a reminder about the events taking place during this week.
Asteria says, she knows how to find inspired words to describe takes of courage and bravery.
Tales asterisco.
Apella así.
Mineya says, she writes very nice words.
Asteria nods and smiles.
Mineya says, this next week. On Thursday, we will belly dance at the Agora with Ephor Mineya. This time we will continue to enjoy the summer, so we will dress lightly so as not to get too hot while dancing.
Asteria smiles. Apella así.
Mineya smiles and goes on. On Sunday, once again the muses will bring inspiration in the usually well-attended bard gathering which as always is hosted by Saberman Carter. Later Counselor Aolangel will shed her skills with the sword to train in the arts of combat the brave Spartans showing tactics of attack and defense.
Asteria says, we will look forward to all such events. Apella así. Priestess says, are you discussing something?
Mineya encourages everyone to attend these events and bring your friends and family who are sure to love it. Mineya has nothing more to add and closes her scroll.
Asteria says, thank you for your report, dear Ephor. You are now dismissed.
Mineya says, Eurede. Asterisco asterisco salutes asterisco asterisco.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes.
Mineya retires to her seat.
Asteria says, if there is anyone that wishes to address assembled Apella can do it now. Asteria looks around curiously to see if anyone intends to take the floor. Priestess says, are you discussing something? Asteria says, maybe there will be someone in the next Apella who has concerns to share, and we will gladly listen to them. And now, I ask Hieros Socrates to bestow us with Apella closing prayers.
Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods. To the sun. Hearken, O blessed one, whose eternal eyes are on all, Titan radiant as gold, Hyperion, celestial light, self-born and tiring, sweet sight to living creatures. On the right you beget dawn, and on the left, night. You temper the seasons as you ride your dancing horses, and rushing swiftly, O fiery and bright faces charioteer, you press on your course in endless whirl, and harsh to the impious, you teach good to the pious. Yours the golden lyre and the harmony of cosmic motion, and you command noble deeds and nurture the seasons. Piping lord of the world, a fiery circle of light is your course, and, O Paean, your light gives life and fruits. Eternal, pure, father of time, O immortal Zeus, you are the clear, brilliant, and all-encompassing cosmic eye, both when you set and when you shine your lovely radiant light. A paragon of justice, O water-loving lord of the cosmos, you guard pledges and, ever the highest, you help all. Eye of justice and light of life, O charioteer, with screaming whip you drive the 4H's chariot on. Hear my words and show life's sweetness to the initiates. Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods.
Priestess says, are you worshipping?
Socrates says, I now call on Priestess Lamy to say closing Apella prayers.
Priestess shouts, I will sing of Zeus, chiefest among the gods and greatest, all-seeing, the Lord of all, the fulfiller who whispers words of wisdom to Themis as she sits leaning towards him. Be gracious, all-seeing son of Kronos, most excellent and great. We offer you a libation of sweet honeyed wine. May Zeus and the gods bless this city, its king, its princess regent, its royals, and all of its citizens. We offer you a libation of sweet honeyed wine. May the gods bless all who attended these prayers.
Socrates pours final libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods. Socrates salutes.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes. You have my gratitude for these prayers, O Hieros. May they grant us the favor of the gods for this night and all the days to follow. I think it is fitting to close this meeting with the words of a great poet, Pindar. She takes a brief pause, then says, Law, the king of all things. Asteria lets these words take effect and then adds, These are words of great wisdom and I hope they can inspire your actions. With them I declare tonight's meeting over. All rise and return to your homes, and may the gods guide and protect your steps. Gratitude to all of you for taking part to this assembly. Herida, salutes.
Socrates salutes.
Mineya says, Eurede. Asterisco asterisco salutes asterisco asterisco.
Apella says, Adine Odgar is at the gate. Asteria says, Have a good night, Spartans.
Socrates says, Good night.
Pirate says, Good night, Socrates. Priestess says, Good night, Socrates.
Mineya says, Good night and sweet dreams.
Asteria says, May your return to home be safe.
Mineya says, Good night, Socrates and Lambis.
Socrates says, Good night, Mineya.